All right, so a bit of a clash of the titans today. We're going to be talking about Solana and Polygon. And of course, ETH will fall into this, but there's a lot happening in these ecosystems that may set the course for a lot of these altcoins going forward. It's going to be a good one. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. Let's get into it today. And the first thing I want to do is thank our sponsor, Consensus 23. If you're not going to be in Austin, you should be. Make sure and use our link down below. And also, I will be there next week, so I'll be doing a lot of meetings and some press tours and things like that. But if you are coming, DM me over on just at Paul Barron on Twitter. Maybe it's possible we can meet up. All you have to do is hit our link down below for a nice discount and get the last few tickets while you can. So check it out. A lot happening over there too. There's so many good speakers and stuff like that. I want to get into the Ethereum, first of all, kind of the baseline of what's happening on Ethereum. You can kind of see the chart right here on ETH locked and validators. Obviously, we saw that a little bit of withdrawals, and now we have come back to somewhat of a stabilized system on Ethereum overall in terms of staking. I think this will continue to get more and more normalized in the sense that people will be able to anticipate that, even though we are seeing ETH kind of drop a little bit here on the charts. The big surprise is, well, I guess it's not really a surprise because of the meme coins that were launched on Ethereum, but you have ETH gas fees now almost 4x, and right here from April 15th at 27.10, skyrocketing up to $81 on ETH gas fees. So this is a problem. That's not a good thing. But at the same time, the reason is pretty simple. This was an article over here by Cointelegraph, and what they hit on was these meme coins. Troll, Aped, Bobo, all were kind of in the top spenders here. A lot of people going back and forth also on social media, talking about the validity of what we might see in terms of gas fees, and is this a good use case? And you saw some of these people defending ETH, some people kind of going up against it. Now, where does that leave Render and Solana? Because now we're starting to see use cases, obviously with Polygon and Ethereum. But with Render, they were in a position where they had to be able to move to these new chains. And this was an example of their GitHub vote. This essentially is their shift from Polygon over to Solana. And as you can see, the vote was pretty much a landslide at 99% saying, yeah, let's get over there. If you look at the different platforms that they were considering, here's the lineup here. I kind of thought ETH would be a little bit higher here, but again, it gets back to transaction fees. Polygon was number 2 here at 14%, and then Solana, an overwhelmingly win on this. So, it looks like there's a lot of functionality within this that I think is going to be required for this to scale. Render knows that, and there's a lot here to kind of unpack with this. I want to go down into this GitHub a little bit. So their current platform was Polygon. And they get into a couple of things here. I'm going to zoom in on this because this looks a little bit harder to read for you guys. Polygon versus moving Solana sparked a spirited debate between pros and cons of each. Some supported Solana's runtime, developer community, low transaction fees, and speed, contrasting Polygon's centralization, their reorg tendencies, and then, of course, the user experience concerns. Some other aspects in this was important to note that once real-time rendered interactive holographic streams are being streamed onto the network and on-chain, these transactions costs will start to play an important role. This gets into a lot around scalability. So think about the future of Web3. Render will be a big part of it. You've heard us say this many times. But the ability to scale is going to be just pretty much paramount for them. ETH runs currently at 14 TPS, transactions per second. Polygon averages just more than double, and then with roughly 29 TPS, as you can see on its live TPS here. Finally, Solana currently averages 140 times that of Polygon. This was really the big stake in the heart for Polygon, is the amount of scalability here. This is over 4,000 TPS. And then both Polygon and Solana claim that they are built to achieve over 50,000 TPS in the long term. This is a question mark, of course, that's starting to play out. This is an example of a 200 frame render job on ETH mainnet. This will cost $140 in fees. So that's a problem. On Polygon, this would cost like $5 in fees. And then these same 200 transactions, these frame renders, will cost as little as 0.00026 on Solana. So about like 19,000 times less if priority fees were not needed. So normal processing, This is a big deal. NFT technology, token-gated ticketing of large-scale streaming experiences, online real-time gaming programs, social media, microtransactions, all these kind of things would be examples of these economies that could break out on Solana through Render. Not only does Solana offer significant increase in TPS throughput than compared to other L1s, but the emerging Merkle is the compression that for NFTs developed by Solana and Metaplex is important that enable these exponential increases. So basically their technology for compression is so good to be able to handle this scalability. And Render is one of the first projects that we've seen that needs this kind of scale. And that's the reason that this is so important for us to go forward and really scale into Web3 with what we think will happen. These are the kind of things that have to happen. Each NFT based on a render frame or animation could be atomically decomposed into smaller NFTs that assemble a node where one can explore each individual piece and item that shares a parent child. So it gets to the point where this really could scale because of its infinite capability. Additional features set up an open host of applications that Render Network uses for building, including Dynamic Virtual Assistant collection, remixable or composable NFTs, and immutable expanding large-scale public NFTs. I know this is a lot of developer speak. In short, they can do a whole lot more on Solana. This is going to scale in a big way for Solana, and it's going to, I think it's going to, dare I say, this is going to put a lot of pressure on Polygon, for sure. Historically, the Render Network has struggled to attract and retain top Solidity developers. This would be a big change because now on Solana, you're dealing with a completely different code set and going over to Rust. So a lot's happening here. Last up here is liquidity uptime. Ethereum trumps Solana with respect to maturity, for sure. But in order to achieve its real-time streaming objectives, Render needs a blockchain to maintain enterprise-level uptime. This is another issue that Solana has, available both on Polygon and Solana today. I mean, Solana's pretty much up most of the time, but they go down in very inopportune times. So that's kind of the detail of it. This is the example of what the fees are. And if you can see a 1 million NFTs, this is the thing that Render is going to be able to do. Remember the AI piece we showed earlier in the week on one of our shows? The capability of rendering through AI and using Render, being able to maximize that into large volume projects and workloads out there on the internet. But 1 million NFTs, 12K without compression in Sol, 5 Sol if you use this whole Metaplex compression, that's big. So 2,400 times cheaper. If you go to 1 billion NFTs, this is where it really starts to scale. 24,000 times cheaper on 1 billion NFTs. That is going to need to be the scenario going forward because tokenizing everything in the future is real. And I think that's really the killer use case of what's going to happen overall, I think, with Web3. Let's not forget Helium also launched. So Helium's network transition to Solana is now officially done. Going to zoom up on that tweet there. Top 3 benefits for Helium subscribers. 1, you're going to be able to join the massive ecosystem of developers, applications, partners, all that kind of stuff. Same people-powered network, now better, faster transaction speeds, time scalability, and then expansion of Helium into networks, which this model enables Helium Mobile and others like it to launch their first mobile services in the ecosystem. Simply put, this is going to scale Helium in ways in which they can start to expand their own ecosystem other than just being a hotspot network. There's a lot there, and Solana makes all of this happen. Now, again, this is very bullish for Solana. I get it. Here's a little bit more. 1 million hotspots deployed since the launch. The Helium 5G network is also experiencing rapid growth. Community has deployed more than 8,000 5G radios, less than a year. There's 100,000 devices actively using the network. Remember, they launched on an IoT network. And that was something we've had Helium and their executives on many times. So it's a normal scenario that plays into, I think, the future. But here's the key elements. Smart contract platform, they've got it now. Lower cost, 0.35 transactions. Larger global developer community, we talked about that earlier because of the explosion, because also of the shortage on Solidity developers. And then H&T, there's also some other aspects to this. Open source development, this will allow developers to use Helium as a core tech. This is what I was getting at earlier. Now they'll be able to become a baseline for all sorts of mobile dApps, etc. So example applications include physical asset tracing, air quality monitoring, water metering, fire detection, foot traffic monitoring. There's going to be a lot there in terms of creating some new ideas. So, all right, so here you've got each hotspot kind of represented as one NFT. They've got 1 million to go, and they are cumulative up around 353,000. So they're on their way in a very short period of time. So good stuff. Last up here is Solana Mobile. And they promised this on 4/20. That, of course, interesting day, of course. But it's launched, and this is one we did a full breakdown. Make sure and check our video out on this, because we go into a lot of detail of what the Saga phone could be for mobile going forward. I'd love to know if you guys are going to get one. Drop some comments down below, and let me know if you're going to actually get a Solana phone. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The outline of this is that these are all good things for Solana. I still am very bullish on ETH. I'm much more bullish on Solana now based on these transitions. Now, granted, Render's got a big idea here. This is not over yet in terms of what Render needs to be able to go forward. I'm more interested in Render as the token to follow very closely. Obviously, it's been moving up the charts here recently. So we're going to keep our close eyes on this. Definitely give you guys as much input as we can. If you guys are not part of the Diamond Circle, get in. It's very simple and easy. Just use our link down below. Pretty simple. Also, if you want to reach me, it's out there on Twitter, @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.